Out of courtesy for others, we ask that you refrain from talking and text messaging while the meeting is in progress. Now it is time to introduce our main speaker tonight, Dave.
Hi, my name's David. I'm alcoholic. Today's a great day. Today is a great day. I would, when I first, my initial, I just look at a Picasso and I can tell where he fucked up, My initial reaction to anything in life is, no. It's not right. No, I could have done that better. I wouldn't have done it that way. So I had to retrain, they say this, it's like the brainwashing, this program's like, yeah, and my brain needed a lot of washing, because the synapses that were connected from growing up to the time I got here, they're just connected in a very chaotic, negative fashion. Very critical, pessimistic, hopeless. What's the point? Fuck it. 40 and out. 40 and out, man, that was good for me. 40 and out was good for me. I was going to go out like all of my heroes, like Jimmy and Janice and Jesus. Well, no, Jesus was what, 33? It's close enough. It was close enough for me. So I would start to leave the house in the morning, and no matter what the weather was like, I'd say, oh, what a beautiful day. Every morning as I walked out the door, oh, what a beautiful day. So today is a great day. And then my daughter, my first child, when she started talking, we'd walk out of the house and I'd say, oh, what a beautiful day. And she would say, oh, what a caca-poo-poo day. The apple does not fall that far from the tree. It really doesn't. You may know my daughter. She found her way into these rooms. Beknownst to me, she never came home fucking puking in a garbage can like I did. She came home unlike I did at her age. She crashed a car like I did. It was like 4 accidents in 4 months. I thought it was because of texting or some kind of, not paying attention. But she's coming around. She's 17 and she's in the rooms, and that's good for her. Good for her. Because I do the best I can. My parents did the best they can, the best they could, But it's Alcoholics Anonymous that taught me how to live, not my parents. My parents may have said things that I could have used, but I didn't hear them. And even if I did, I would have said, I don't think so. I could do that better, So Alcoholics Anonymous has given me a design for living today. And the first thing I do in the morning in the shower is pray. You see, I'm married 20 years to another sober alcoholic. That's why I go to Al-Anon. See, someone doesn't have to be drinking to exhibit alcoholic behavior. They don't. The first 10 years of my sobriety, I behaved alcoholically when it came to my career. But you see, I have to bottom out on everything. Before I change, before I'm gonna do anything about anything, I have to abuse it until I can't abuse it anymore. I had to drink until I couldn't drink another drop. I had to snort coke until I couldn't snort another line. I had to do Tuinals until I couldn't stop doing Tuinals, and Nebutols and Plastidils and Percodan and Percocet and Dilaudid. I just kept doing them till I couldn't do them anymore, you know. And then I asked for help. I asked for help, like Mercedes did to the judge, because I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I can't do it anymore. Because if I could do it, guess what? I'd still be doing it. I'd still be drinking. I'd still be smoking. I'd still be cheating on my wife. I'd still be doing it all. You know, because I had to bottom out on drugs and alcohol, and then I had to bottom out on smoking. And I smoked every cigarette until I couldn't smoke another cigarette. And when I was done smoking that cigarette, I smoked another cigarette. And I just kept on smoking cigarettes until I couldn't smoke another cigarette. Until I was like huffing and puffing, walking up the stairs, and the headaches, and I just needed one more drag. Just one more. So I had to bottom out on those before I quit those. And then I had to bottom out on infidelity. You see, it got to the point, because I got sober, right? But I still had to have sex with you. Even though I was with you, I had to have sex with you. Not because this wasn't good, just because I wanted to have sex with you too. So I started to get sober, and I had to start living by these spiritual principles in my life, and it was like harder and harder to behave inappropriately. It just kept getting harder and harder, because I didn't have the drugs and alcohol to anesthetize the feelings of shame and the feelings of guilt, right? So what I would do, I'd break up with my girlfriend so I could sleep with her. I could justify that, right? But that was the beginning of the process. You see, it's progress, not perfection, and I had to do it a certain way in order to become monogamous. So I had to bottom out on that. And the last thing I had to bottom, well, there'll be other things I'm going to be bottoming out on. There is no doubt about that. But the latest thing that I bottomed out on about 3 years ago was trying to get what I want. Because I want what I want. And I'm going to get it. Because I'm determined. And I will pursue what I want to the gates of insanity. I will pursue what I want by stepping on the toes of my fellows, and they will retaliate. Because I don't take no for an answer. God damn it, I have dreams, I have goals, I have aspirations. And I'm going to achieve them. So the first 10 years, and that was the last, you know, my latest bottom out in sobriety was my career. Bottoming out on trying to get what I want in my career. So, you know, the first 2 series I was on, I just alienated every writer and producer and director. And we're not talking just any writers, producers, and directors. We're talking, you know, big guys. And people that I would never work for again. People that will never hire me again. Because the response was, life is too short. You see, because I didn't come to town, I didn't come here to go swimming, I didn't come here to get a suntan, I didn't come here to go skiing, I didn't come here to get laid, I didn't come here to go fishing, okay? I came to Los Angeles to win an Academy Award, to win an Emmy, and win a Clio. That's why I came to town. I would walk into agent's office, and that's what I would tell them. I said, are you ready to take a ride of your life? Are you? Because we're going to fucking kill it. Okay? We are going to be rich and fucking famous. Are you in? They were like, we're interviewing you. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. I mean, but it was my arrogance, believe me, my ego and my arrogance, it knows no bounds. You know, they're not kidding when it says the ego has to be smashed. There's not one line in that book that is a lie. I mean, I'm 26 years sober. When I first got sober, and Doug Steindorf is my Eskimo. Now, you guys don't know him, obviously. He moved to Arizona. He 12-stepped me. He 12-stepped me. And he said, Dave, if you're going to go to only 3 meetings a week, you're going to make sure those meetings are a big book study, a step study, and a men's stag. What you do after that is your business. You can go to those social meetings, blah, 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 blah. And I've studied the steps, I've studied the traditions, and I studied the concepts of service. I love Alcoholics Anonymous. I want as much of it as I can get. You know, the beginning of this format, I couldn't believe it. It says this meeting is about unity, service, and recovery. Well, you know, we have that circle and that triangle, and the recovery is in the 12 steps. The unity is in the 12 traditions, and the service is in the 12 concepts of service. There's 36 spiritual principles upon which this program is based and built. And the steps teach me how to love myself. Because when I come into these rooms, well, I have a tinge of narcissism. So as low as it was and as bad as it was, I still had no problem looking myself in the mirror and saying, I love you. You know, therapists have said, you have a real healthy sense of denial. You know? I mean, I grew up in Newark, New Jersey, and I hung out on the corner of Ridge Street and Bloomfield Avenue with Johnny Dimps, Tommy Motorola, and the Weasel. Okay, we dealt drugs, we went to the racetrack, we shot pool. Do you ever see the movie, Saturday Night Fever? Yeah. That's my neighborhood. That's my neighborhood. I was 17 in 1977. All right? You ever see the movie Goodfellas? That's also my neighborhood. You ever see the movie The Pope of Greenwich Village? Yeah. The Eric Roberts character? That was me. I was going to end up scapegoat dead. These were some tough people. I got my ass kicked on a weekly basis. These people started lifting weights when they were 8. A lot of them are dead, a lot of them are in jail. And I had to develop a very thick skin. I didn't have any big brothers to come save me, like a lot of the kids in the neighborhood did. So I took the beatings, and I had no big brother to go give a beating to tell him, you touch my brother again, I'm going to fucking kill you. You know, I came in here trusting no one, because that's what this is all about. Learning how to trust something greater than yourself who can help you live free, like Rustin was talking about. Because this program is very clear. And like I said, I've never read one line in any of the books that I've read that's been a lie. And it's very clear. It says, if I turn my will, which is everything I want, and my life, which is everything I have, to his care and protection with complete abandon, great events will come to pass for me and countless others. This is the great fact for us. Abandon yourself to God as you understand God. Give freely of what you've been given, and you will surely meet some of us as you trudge the road of happy destiny. Not happy manifest destiny. But I want what I want. And I'm going to get what I want. Because I didn't come to this town to go swimming. And I didn't come to this town to go fishing. I came here to win an Academy Award, an Emmy, and a Clio. And I'm going to get what I want. And in the first 10 years of my sobriety, I pursued that to the gates of insanity. To the gates of insanity. So I go see a friend of mine in the taping of the Dear John pilot, right? And every time he comes out on stage, there's like 5 of us he invited, and we're like, woo! We're laughing. And all of a sudden, this little toad of a man comes running up, and we're in the bleachers, and he goes, hey, I only want you laughing where it's funny. You're ruining the laugh track. Stop laughing where it's not funny. Get out of here, man. Everything Richie said is funny. Get out of here, you little fucking toad. Richie does the scene again. We're whooping it up. Here comes the toad. Hey, I'm telling you, cut it out. So I'm not staying for this, you know what I mean? Richie's scene is done. I'm getting the hell out of here. So I leave with these two other girls who were there with Richie. The only one who stayed was his brother-in-law. And then I'm feeling guilty. Richie invited me. I'm leaving. I better go back. So I go back, and my seat's gone. And right in the center, front row, there's a seat. And the page said, and the page knew me, he said, excuse me, Mr. Marciano, your seat's gone, but I'll find you a seat. And he looks to this seat here, and he says, is that seat taken? And the person kind of said, well, and I just sat down in it. I said, hey, how you doing? Dave Marciano, how you doing? He said, I'm doing fine. He said, is that seat warm enough for you? I said, you know, it's pretty hot. I said, whoever was sitting here really warmed it up. Now, this guy has a honker of a pimple on his forehead, right? And I'm about to say to him, dude, you mind if I pop that pimple for you? When here comes the toad. Jake, what did I tell you? What are you doing? You blah, 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 blah. I said, you know, I stood up. I said, you know what? I am so sick and tired of you raining on my fucking parade. You know what? You know what? Fuck, I'm out of here, man. I'm out of here, right? And I all of a sudden hear, security, escort that man off the lot. Not again. So my agent calls me the very next day. I said, so where were you last night? I was at the taping of the Dear John pilot. He goes, I know. I said, how do you know? He says, well, you know that seat you were sitting in? I said, yeah. He goes, you know who that person was you were sitting next to? I said, no. He said, that was Brandon Tartikoff. I said, okay. And he goes, the seat you were sitting in was his wife's. I said, okay. And what do we do now? He says, we don't work for NBC until Brandon Tartikoff isn't president anymore. That's how I live. This is sober. And that's how I live my life. You see, because I want what I want. And I'm going to get what I'm going to get. And I don't care who you are. So I alienated my boss, everyone I work with. I alienated my first boss from my first series. I alienated my second boss from my second series. And when I got my third series, I said, okay, let's see, it's 2004. I got sober in 85. What does that make me? Like 20 years? No. 19 years sober, right? Worked the steps, worked the traditions, trying to get my head on my head on straight, you know what I mean? Trying not to piss anybody off anymore, because I bottomed out. You know, on that second, I bottomed out, because I went toe-to-toe with this creator of the show that I was on. I went toe-to-toe with this guy every day. I mean, we would yell and scream at each other face to face. The guy would say action, and I just go do it. Like, people would say, how do you do it? How do you go yelling and screaming with this guy? They say, action, you just do your part. I said, because one has nothing to do with the other. He's wrong, he's a fucking asshole. I got to do my work, and I always did my work. I do the best I can every day. I'm tired by the end of every day, because I live my life at 100. I live my life at full throttle, no matter what I do. I don't know why. I just do. And I bottomed out. And I vowed after 10 years that I was not going to do this ever again. And I asked God for help, you know. And I've only had one incident since then, since 1996, which I'm not proud of. Well, maybe 2 or 3. It's progress, not perfection. But you know what? I was doing 2 and 3 a day. 2 and 3 times a day, I was alienating people. See, because this program isn't about drinking and using. See, because drinking and drugs and alcohol are my solution. My problem is me. My problem is life. My problem is, and someone else talked about it today, about relationships. See, because I came in here damaged, broken, alienated everyone. You know, and it's, you know, and the evidence is in the 4th step. The evidence is in the resentments and the fears and the sexual misconduct. Everybody on my fourth step is a defective, disharmonious relationship. And it tells me exactly why in column 4. Because I was either dishonest, selfish, self-seeking, or inconsiderate. And fear leads to possession. It's fear. Fear is the chief activator of all my defects. Okay? So it dawned on me at about 20 years of sobriety, because they told me about this thing called contrary action, that if all of these relationships that I had prior to coming into Alcoholics Anonymous and for the first 10 years in my sobriety in my work area were defective, disharmonious relationships because I was either selfish, self-seeking, inconsiderate, or dishonest, then all I have to do is the opposite. I have to stop trying to get what I want. That's being self-seeking. And try to help you get what you want. I had to stop being selfish and greedy. And I had to start being generous of spirit with all that I have. You know, I had to be considerate of you. You know, there's a fear prayer. What? Are you joking? I thought this was like a 45-minute share. I want to thank Patty for asking me to come out and share with you tonight. I love Patty. Patty and I got sober together. Architects of Adversity, Log Cabin. It's crazy, right? So, it says on page 81 in the 12 and 12, defective relations may be the cause of my woes and probably even my alcoholism. It also says on that same book on page 53 that the primary fact we fail to recognize is that we have an inability to form a lasting, loving relationship with another human being. I don't know how to love. I don't know how to accept love. Alcoholics Anonymous taught me how to love. Love is an action, and that action is service. God is love. Love is an action, and that action is service. So I'm in college. And I studied behavioral psychology and speech communications, and I took a course in interpersonal relationships. And at the time, the professor said there are 5 components of a good working, effective, harmonious relationship. And he said the first one is honesty, and the second one is listening. And when I'm honest with you, and I listen to you, and you're honest with me, and you listen to me, we trust each other, which is the third component of a good working, effective, harmonious relationship, being honest, listening. You develop trust. And because I trust you, I share something intimate with you. I get vulnerable, and I share a secret, something that I may not share with everybody. And because I do that, you do that back to me, and that's called reciprocity. Honesty, listening. We develop trust, we get vulnerable, share intimacies, it's called reciprocity. And because we do those 4 things, we coexist. We have a friendship. And eventually, it's a cohabitation after that. And that was back in 1981 that I was taught that. And then I've added a 6th component, which is forgiveness. You see, because without forgiveness, we're no longer friends. Without forgiveness, I'm no longer married to my wife. Without forgiveness, my daughter and I just are done. We're done. I've had it with your behavior. Now, this is why they tell you to get a sponsor. Why get a sponsor? Get a sponsor. It's not in the book. Get a sponsor. I'll tell you exactly why you get a sponsor. Because what does a sponsor do? A sponsor is the first person in my life who is honest with me, and he listens to me. And because he's honest with me and he listens to me, I trust him. And because I trust him, I get intimate and I share something vulnerable with him, which is my 4th step. And so I don't feel like a freak. He shares something from his 4th step with me, and that's called reciprocity. And because we did all 4 of those, we coexist. And we have an effective, harmonious, good-working, loving relationship. You want to learn how to start loving again? Get a sponsor. Because a sponsor is the first person in my life that I learned how to love. Because he didn't want anything from me. And I didn't really want anything from him. except to save my life. And the only reason why he did all those things with me is because it's going to save his life. And that's the great thing about this program is it's designed for idiots. It's designed for the really, really smart people. So smart. It's so like ironic. It's the dichotomies. It's the dichotomies. I got to give it away to keep it? What are you, crazy? It's true. Because if I'm a friend to you, you're going to be a friend to me. If I go see your play, you're going to come see my play. Right? If I give you if you're out of money and you have to take the bus and you need a ride, I give you a ride. When I'm out of money and I need a ride, you're going to give me a ride. 98% of the time. You're going to meet that 2% somewhere. So real quick, I had to bottom out on trying to get what I want. So I get onto my third series, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this right. I'm going to foster my relationships because now I have all this great information in Alcoholics Anonymous on how to foster relationships. You know, stop trying to get what I want and like help these guys get what they want and these gals get what they want, and I'm just going to be of service, and I'm going to get their phone numbers and their emails, and I'm going to foster these relationships, and I'm going to shadow directors, and I'm going to, you know what? I want to expand my horizons in my career, and I got in this 2-year writing program, and I wrote I developed 2 short films, and I was going to shoot one of them, whichever one was the better one, and I was going to I developed this pitch pilot that I went out, and I got this big entertainment company who has shows on TV on big networks to option my pitch pilot, and I got an Academy Award-winning writer who's also a director to option one of my pilots. I'm on my way, and I'm doing it without pissing anybody off. And it's going great. And I'm trying to get what I want. And for 3 years, this 2-year program, and after that, and I was going to, see, because those first 2 series, I didn't really get another series because I was just pissing everybody off. But this one, I'm going to parlay this into the next series, because you know all those executive producers and those writers on those shows who are not the showrunner, they're going on to run their show in like 2 years. And I'm making it happen, and I'm doing it like normal people do it, you know? And I'm not pissing anybody off. And after devoting 20 hours a week to this endeavor for 3 years, I ended up in the same place that I was when I started. The option on the pitch went away. The script never got bought. The 2 short films I was going to write and direct one of them, I could never put it together. And I worked my ass off to manifest my destiny. And I said, I get it. I'm done. I walked into the middle of the room, and I said, I'm done. I can't do it. My life is too big. I can't manage my own life. It's impossible. I'm in a monogamous relationship for 20 years. I can't do that. I have 3 kids, 17, 12, and 11. One of them's autistic. My plate is so big and so full, I can't do it. So I have to give in to my life, not give up, because we never give up. We continue to suit up and show up and be of love and service. That's the deal. And we get what we get. And here's the thing, all right? I'm going to contradict myself because there is nothing to get. See, the illusion is that there's something to get. See, the illusion is that there's an Emmy and a Clio and an Academy Award to get, because that's the physical world. See, I can't live in the physical world, because you know what it does to me? It makes me pursue everything in the physical world to the gates of insanity. It drives me fucking crazy, because I gotta get what I want, and I can't get it. And I'm smart, and I'm pretty, and goddamn it, people like me. I read The Little Engine That Could. So I had to give into my life. And after I bottomed out on trying to get what I want, I turned my will. See, the third step is a constant battle. It's just a constant battle because I want what I want. And until we actually take the third step, really take the third step, we'll never be free. I'll never be free. Because I want what I want. And the want monster is the devil. I mean, it's temptation, it's evil, it's just, So here's what I do now. Because I didn't get what I wanted after trying for 3 years, 20 hours a week. I said, okay, I'm done. Because the best things that ever happened, don't give me that. Because the best thing that ever happened, the best things that ever happened in my life, I had nothing to do with. Doug Steindorf was an actor in my professional actors training program, and after the first day, after the guy spoke, he said, I want you guys to go around the room and mingle. There were 22 other people in that room. Why did I walk up to the one guy whose whole family was in Alcoholics Anonymous? Why? Why did I walk up to him and say, we're either going to be best friends or enemies by the end of this year, and I fucking left? That's how I mingle. And Doug became my Eskimo, and I got sober. Why are all the jobs that I've gotten in my life, all the big jobs, okay, the series for Botchko, the series for Haggis, the fucking Shield, and this new one I'm on, I had nothing to do with any of them. I did not pursue them. They came to me because it's my destiny. I'm sorry, it's my destiny. I know it's my calling. I know what I do is my calling because I tried everything else. It's found me. Alcoholics Anonymous found me. My career found me. Everything finds me. All I have to do is be an open channel and vessel. All I have to do is turn my will and my life to his care and protection, and great events will come to pass for me and countless other. We all have a purpose. But if we stay open and we listen to the people who come in and out of our lives, because when I was done and I was quitting acting, I was done, I had enough, and I'm leaving the dry cleaners, and it's raining, and I'm soaking wet, and I've had it because no one's helping me. Out of nowhere, this lady comes up to me, and she says, oh my God, I love you. Do you know how talented you are? I was quitting that day. Don't give up. Don't give up. Turn your will and your life over to his care and protection, and great events will come to pass for you and countless others. This is the great fact for us. Thank you very much.